Hi everybody, Richard Utting from Sharpshooting UK here. Simple video this to compare a normal priming tool to the Benchrest 21st Century Shooting primer, which is of much higher quality. More money, but you get super tolerances. So, here we go. Normal priming tools work perfectly well, up to a point where you might find that some primers don't go in square, or you have to put a lot of force on them to get them in, and you crimp the bottom of them. It could be 10,000 rounds before you discover any problems. I went for many years before I realised that I needed to upgrade somewhat. But sooner or later, I think you end up thinking, this primer's got to go in square, and it would be useful if it went in uniformly each time. And what I find is that this is a bog standard priming tool. You've got your shell holder there for your caliber, and then you use either the small or the large rod, don't you, for small or large primers. What you see is that this tray comes round into here and is actually an alignment surface for the process. And as this plastic, which is part of this tray, wears, or isn't perfectly uniform in the first place, or has sloppy tolerances, that tool, that rod as it comes up, can squirm. It actually moves in this channel above it. It's hard to see on the camera, but there's a groove cut out there. It can move millimeters, you know, and if under force, because you've got a stiff primer pocket or whatever, that comes up, it can squirm and move and flex a significant amount. Then your primer goes in skew with, and you've got a problem. And of course your depth is very hard to uniform. The ones that take more pressure won't go in as far, the ones that are sloppy go in further. You press on your thing, everything gives and flexes. That's your lot. Okay, that's what $20 gets you, whatever the cheap ones are. Now on your 21st Century Benchrest version, you've got metal components, adjustable shafts, replaceable components, solid stainless steel body. This is some premium shizzle here. This comes off, and underneath you've got your 21st Century super high tolerance shell holder. No play there. Underneath that you've got the, in this case, large priming section, which again, really tight, really sweet. You obviously get a small one of them for small primers. On goes your shell holder, then your screw top. Now what you can do with this is you can do it all the way up, and then by coming out a certain number, for example, I know I have written on my bench here how many clicks I need to come out. 2, 8, 4, 13 clicks from all the way in. Okay, so I now know that that is within thousandths of an inch of where I primed last time. It's 13 clicks out from all the way in. So you can completely standardize your priming each time, even if you've had it apart and used it for a different size primer. For example, this is large primer here. I have my 204, which is small primers, 16 clicks out from all the way in. So completely standardizable each time. Each click, 2.5 thou. Very, very classy. But this is the important thing. This is the bottom line. Put your primer on there. Up comes this to plunge it in. No plastic anywhere. Nothing but metal. Everything is metal, 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 metal. There is nowhere for flex to come in. Up you come. Absolutely lovely tolerances. This thing's like a Swiss watch. It's a pleasure to use. There's the plunger. The brass has got nowhere to go. So you get uniform, consistent priming. Obviously you can adjust your depth according to how you like the feel here. You can have it be done there, or you can go right up until it touches. It's entirely configurable by you and then entirely repeatable each time. So really quality kit, really quality kit. The shell holders are lovely. The feel of it when you're using it is entirely configurable, as I say, so you get to have it how you like it. Personally, I like to have the primers seat fully just as I hit that, but you can configure it how you want it. Absolutely top quality priming, but this is the real magic here. That there, no play, no flex. So everything goes in straight. If it doesn't want to go in straight, it can't then squirm against the plastic and go in to the side, which I must admit I have just recently run into, and it's a problem. Whatever I do with my 284 brass, even though I'm uniforming the pockets, etc., etc., I still find that I'm really struggling to put them in. Not with this tool. This tool solved it, but I have just come across that problem. If you look at some of these examples, you can see that that is actually crushed, because it should have a rounded edge on it, like that. Difficult. Do you see the one on the right is slightly flattened? That's because with the previous tool, to get that in, I had to put such force on it that it did it harm. Whereas this one, with the new tool, same amount of force required, but it seems to put it in straighter and happier. And just as importantly as anything else, I can repeat that each time I prime, which is crucial. So very nice quality kit there from 21st Century Shooting. I think these are about $100. Seems expensive, but you will only ever buy one, rest assured. And the other thing, guys, which surprised me no end, is popping a primer on there and priming the case is actually surprisingly quick. I thought that I would miss having a tray full of primers, and I don't. You have to mess about with them so much, turning the exact right amount out of the case, out of the primer case, into the tray, and then wobbling the tray to turn the primers over, and then feeding them in gently. All of that messing on, you don't have to do with this. You pop one primer in the end there, and you prime your case with it. It's surprisingly quick. So fear not. You know, I worried that the single one at a time version was going to be very slow, but it isn't. Let me demonstrate how you pop a primer on here. So you go to, this can be turned, by the way, to whatever angle you want relative to the handle without affecting the seating depth. So I put it at about that angle. Pop your primer in. There it is. And once you get a system going, you know, where everything's to hand, your little process going, it is really very straightforward. So thoroughly recommended. Really good kit. Thanks to 21st Century Shooting there.